Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to this video. It's a extra cozy morning here in London because it was snowing outside earlier. I'd like to say a few words today in this video about what's so special about the morning and why the morning fragility, and also why is it more effective or especially effective to uh, uh, sit in meditation, sit with yourself, or do visualizations first thing in the morning, right after waking up. So, have you heard of brain waves? Brain waves are electrical activity that groups of neurons generate in the brain to communicate. There is a few different brain waves. We've got delta, theta, alpha, beta, and gamma. And their different brainwaves are associated with different states of consciousness as well. Delta brainwaves are associated with dreamless sleep, deep sleep, and they are crucial for memory consolidation. We've got theta brainwaves. This is a state of dreaming, light sleep, a state of hypnosis, sponge-like state when we are able to absorb, a state of downloading information that goes into the subconscious mind when the dialogue with the subconscious is open. Then we've got alpha brainwaves that are associated with a relaxed, calm state of awakeness. Maybe when we are meditating, not engaging in as much concentration or cognitive function, but when we are relaxed, when we are calm, that's alpha brainwaves. Beta brainwaves are a state of activity, a state of alertness. So beta brainwaves are being communicated throughout our daily life, throughout our day-to-day life or tasks. When we go to work and we concentrate, we focus, we problem solve. These are beta brainwaves. And then we've got gamma brainwaves that get communicated when we are learning, when we are engaging in higher cognitive function, maybe challenging ourselves, doing something new, processing information, processing memories, or learning. So these are the brainwaves that we go in and out of or get communicated throughout our life. Now, theta brainwaves, so these are this is the second one that I named after delta. Delta was a deep sleep, dreamless sleep, and then we go to theta brainwaves that are light sleep, dreaming. This is theta brainwaves are really important for this video because these are the brainwaves that we enter as we move out of deep sleep into this bridge between night and day, between emerging from deep sleep into dreaming, and then into awakeness. Theta brainwaves are the ones that hypnotherapists will induce to put us in a state of absorption. So to induce our likelihood to absorb new messages about our reality, messages of safety about our reality, or messages of health about our reality. So this is the download mode. Theta brainwaves are also the brainwaves that we wake up with and that we are in the morning, right after waking up. And they are very, very important. Theta brainwaves are also brainwaves that accompany us constantly when we're between the age of 2 and 6. Between the age of 2 and 6, we are constantly in theta brainwaves. And I think this is amazing. Basically, nature made us this way because alpha, beta, and gamma brainwaves, those are brainwaves that require us to tap into memories or information that we already have, to engage with our conscious mind that is developed, that where we can process information based on the reference we already have through our life. But between the age of 2 and 6, we don't have that library of information, that database. We don't have that database developed yet. So nature created us in a way that between the age of 2 and 6, we download, we are a sponge, we absorb everything, all the information we can get. So that when we reach the age of 6 and we start to develop our sovereignty, our identity in this world, how we want to manifest, we start to fully feel like we are a separate entity, like we're a separate being. We then have this library that we've downloaded, information about how this world works, what's safe, what's not. So we are intensely absorbing, we are intensely downloading between the age of 2 and 6. And of course, we move in and out of delta brainwaves as well. So delta is the deep sleep, the dreamless sleep, when we really process very important ones. But those two brainwaves are more associated with the subconscious mind rather than the conscious mind. And now science has proven that we live our lives 95% from our subconscious mind and 5% of our from our conscious mind, which I think is incredible to think about. And yes, it makes sense. Our subconscious mind stores information about every function, life function that is automatic for us. So walking, running, swimming, eating, everything that we don't think about as we do, and we can think cognitively about something else as we do it. comes from the subconscious mind, comes from the programs that are stored in the subconscious, so that when we walk, we don't have to think about, every muscle that needs to move in order to take a step, just the way we would have to think about it if we were learning how to roller skate, for example. It's, for some people, that information will already be in the subconscious mind. Same for languages. But the first time we do something, it really feels like going against the tide. We really have to engage different, we are in different brain waves for that, and it can feel difficult. And we are not in that state in our daily life. We are in our gamma brain waves, from time to time. Otherwise it would be agony, because it's not easy as we know, to learn for the first time, acquire new skills. It's difficult. So we live 95% from our subconscious mind. So, which is really interesting, because, as I said, from the age of 2 and 6, we are in the state of subconscious mind, and a lot of the programs about life, about what's safe, about how to avoid pain. So if we had utilized certain mechanisms when we were between the age of 2 and 6, the survival mechanisms, maybe we learned or saw them in our parents and our caregivers. These are the sort of mechanisms or strategies that worked for us, and they were sent straight into the subconscious mind. So if we were exposed to pain, and our strategy worked and prevented us from feeling as much pain, or simply allowed us to survive the difficulty, that program will go into the subconscious mind, so that next time this happens, we can avoid the pain, we can avoid the feeling of being threatened. So our body will tense up, or we will not say what we think or feel, because last time when that happened, we were reprimanded in a unjust way, or we were being shouted at, or anything else that was painful and possibly threatening to the mind of a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old. So we developed this strategy. Our body's program is to stop us from saying it, or stop us from responding in a certain way. Maybe stop us from crying because we weren't allowed to, or stop us from screaming because the consequences of screaming were a threat to our survival, our sense of being accepted. So yes, we are in engaging or living our life through subconscious programs that we might not even be aware of, or we might not be aware of how they originated, why they originated. They're just there. They just exist, and none of it is bad or evil. They are there to prevent pain. So theta brainwaves, the ones that we are in between the age of 2 and 6, and the ones that are activated first thing in the morning after we wake up, it's a state of dialogue with our subconscious mind. This is when that gate to everything that we experienced that is hidden in the subconscious mind, or that is stored in the subconscious mind, opens for us. And this is really the only time, unless we induce it naturally, where we have access, because the gate is open. So we open that gate as we are towards approaching the time of about to wake up. And when we wake up, that gate slowly starts to close, but it's still open. So there is still voices from whatever we have in our subconscious mind that are echoing in the morning. And it happens both ways. So the voices from what's in the subconscious mind will speak out, will call out, will be alive for us. But in the same way, we also have access to respond in that moment and to be heard, to really reach that place. A subconscious mind is where we have also throughout our lives pushed whatever couldn't be dealt with and whatever couldn't be confronted on a cognitive level. So if we, especially as children, when we didn't have the resources or the means to process in a cognitive way the amount of pain or the amount of fear or the amount of anger, and we couldn't contain it, for our safety, that will get pushed into the subconscious mind rather than being in the conscious mind and calculating. The conscious mind has this ability to calculate that we don't have anyone to help us, that we need help and we need an empathetic witness. We need a point of reference. We need another nervous system to borrow, to regulate with. And that information, the fact that we don't have that, the fact that we are in it alone, and it's too much, and it can actually cause damage to us. So we push it into the subconscious mind. So those voices, they didn't disappear. Those voices are in the subconscious mind. They still very much live there. When we wake up, those energies, those sensations, all this unfinished business can still radiate for us. It can still have this effect on us in the morning, especially. And our subconscious mind doesn't communicate in the same way our conscious mind does. So conscious mind communicates. There is this verbal communication that we manifest our conscious mind through verbal, through words, through language. It's a linear way of understanding or computing this world, whereas the subconscious mind has a different language. It communicates through imagery. It communicates through sensations, feelings, through our body. So a lot of messages that are in the subconscious, they're actually in the body. They are on the level of sensation, of feeling. So the morning time, and this is what I spoke to already, to this morning fragility. We could be in a state of a young child, or in a state of perceiving the world, or sensing the experience of our inner child, of the child we were, between six or and sorry, between 2 and 6, but not just that. In any time when there was something difficult happening, a trauma situation was happening, and this we were especially connected to our fragility in that moment of our helplessness or hopelessness, that had to do with the situation when we couldn't respond to it, when weren't empowered enough to physically, economically, or otherwise respond to injustices or threats, or suffering. We can meet that in the state of theta brainwaves and in the state of light sleep, dreaming, and that can be carried into a state of awakenedness when we just about start to engage and interact with the physical world, with this realm. So that can still sit just on top of our skin. It can be really felt in the body. Those messages, meaning, feeling, sensations can be really on the surface for us. And this is also when we can respond. So visualizations, meditation, this is our way of speaking the same language as the subconscious mind. We respond in the same language as our subconscious mind speaks. So in visualizations, we invite imagery to represent messages. So a message of safety, a message of stability, of justice, of love, of care, of comfort. Those messages, if we were just to say them like with affirmations and use words to communicate to our subconscious mind, our subconscious mind doesn't speak that language. You know, we can say to our subconscious mind, I am no longer in a state of threat. Nothing threatens me here, so I will just stop being afraid. I think we can just stop being afraid now, because there is nothing to be afraid of anymore. I am loved. I am safe. This doesn't quite reach the same room in our system. It doesn't quite translate to the subconscious mind. Whereas if we call on imagery and we feel in the body, we accompany it with a feeling of a warmth of the sun shining on the face, or a house, visualizing a house that is vibrant and shining, and maybe we can visualize an abundant land or a garden that's blooming, and really feel how that imagery makes us feel, or what is it awakening us? How are we responding to that? this is the way we can communicate with what's in the subconscious mind rather than what's in the conscious, because we are not trying to rewrite programs that are stored in our conscious mind. We are trying to rewrite programs that are stored in our subconscious mind. That's a big difference. And there is, yeah, it's like knocking on the wrong door. To speak it, when there's a loud noise coming from one of your neighbors apartments, right? And it's really bothering you. You can't really function, you can't relax, you can't exist, you can't really respond to your reality. But then you go and you keep knocking on the wrong door to the wrong neighbor. And then you go to that neighbor and you tell them in a different language, or you go to the right neighbor and you tell them in a different language to please quiet down the music, and they won't understand you. It's that sort of thing, is that we need to know, that's when it's more effective, right? It's more effective if we go to the right neighbor and if we speak their language and they can understand us and empathize with us and really feel it, and we can embody it. Then we can embody that sense, and we can live in more of a homeostasis with that space, and we can bring more harmony into that land. So when we bring more harmony into that land, we will live with more harmony, because we live from those resources that are there 95% of our lives. That's where we draw from 95% of our lives into that land. So that's the land that we can make abundant. That's the land that we can make fruitful and vibrant and safe and loving, and a source of goodness, and a source of and a source of support, comfort. Yeah. So this is why visualizations, why feeling in the morning, connecting and inquiring within this sense of inquiry in the morning. That's what theta brainwaves support. So we are supported by that state. We get on the rail and we are taken with the wave to the right place. And we can really transform what's behind that door in the morning. And I will do a separate video of my morning routine, so have a look. I invite you to do it alongside me, to do a morning routine when we do a bit of an EFT protocol in the morning, just for a feeling that arises, whatever is alive, whatever is present, and we really give it space, and we honor that, and we can help to move that energy in the body, because we've got it. It's a gift, really. It's a gift to have something remaining from that garden, from that landscape, and we can really take that and spin it into gold, and look after it, and accept it, and just be with it. Give that a home. So please join me for my morning routine with visualizations. And thank you so much for being here, being with me for this video. And I will see you next time. Lots of love.